Shalom from New York, and our weekly portion Nitzavim, of course, have themes of Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. And we read in this week's portion the following. I place life and death before you, blessing and curse, and you should choose life. So God asks us to choose life. And we have to ask a question, but who would choose death? It's also known that it says on Rosh Hashanah 3 books are opened, and the righteous people go to life, the wicked people go to death, and everybody else in between, and decided until Yom Kippur which books they will be put in. So people ask the question, they say, look, but maybe we cannot understand it literally, because if we would try to understand those words literally, it means that the righteous people should live forever. They're written for life year after year after year, so they should be living for hundreds, thousands a year. We don't see that. Also, if the evil people would be chosen, to put in the book of death, then that means that they should die every year. And we don't see that. We see a lot of really wicked people live for quite a while. So people say maybe this is not literal. But, when our sages tell us something, the answer is you can take it literal, but you cannot take it primitively. Means, what's the definitions? How do you define life and how do you define death? So we understand that life is a process. It's not just something happens, once. What process is that? We'll talk about it just a bit later. But what the sages tell us is that death is also process. See, when a person is diagnosed with illness that is incurable for our medicine and he's going to die, we see that the process of death is already going on. But the process of death does not start when the doctors diagnose it. It starts much, much earlier. So the question is that when does the process of death start? And Rosh Hashiva Weinberg Zal gave us a good example, a story of a case where a person was trying to kill himself. He's trying to jump from the bridge, and the journalist from New York Times goes there and he just asked for the last interview. So he asked him, sir, why are you trying to kill yourself? And the man says, I lost $10 million on the market, I'm ruined, I'm wiped out, this is it. And the journalist says, look, I understand you, but you don't have any money left? So the man starts thinking about it and says, well, look, I have a house, I can sell a house, it's about $1.5 million. Oh, obviously people who can lose $10 million don't live in subsidized apartments. I have a fancy car, I have a yacht, like another $500,000, this and that, my wife's jewelry, some antiques, so, another $500,000. I have maybe $2.5 million. At which point the journalist says, wait a minute, sir, I'm making $70,000 a year. If I work 30 years without spending a penny, I would not make even the money that you have as a starting capital, and you know how to do business. So then the journalist said, maybe I should jump. So the man looks at him and says, you would never understand what it means to lose $10 million. And he jumps. So why is he jumping? He's jumping because not he's focusing what he has, but he's jumping because he doesn't want to live with the pain of what he lost. And you see, suicide is always like this. It's when a person has a pain, person tries to escape from pain. And when they feel there's no escape, when they buy into this voice of pain that's saying there will be no escape from me, then people become suicidal. They want to kill themselves. They really want to escape from pain. Give them hope, give them help, and they would not want to do it. So this is fast suicide, but there's slow suicide. Chain smoking, drugs, there are many other things where people, again, trying to escape from pain. So Rosh Hashiva Zal, Rabbi Weinberg, said this following thing. He said, see, when a person, instead of going through necessary pain in order to grow, takes a step back, that's when the process of death starts. And of course, pain is an archetype of difficulty. In order for us to grow, we need to overcome difficulties. If we try to be in a comfort zone, right, all the time instead of going forward. So when we begin to anesthetize ourselves, there's a certain part of us, or certain parts of us that start feeling in pain, and then we try to feel numb. So we numb ourselves, so we're deadening ourselves. And we can deaden ourselves until the process of death really takes place. So that's the process of death. What about the process of life? What other process do we have? We have a process of animal existence. So what's the difference between animal existence and human life? And I think the secret is right in the words of Torah. It says, choose life. See, man can choose morality. That's the difference. The difference between us and animals, who also can be intelligent, who has choices and so on, they don't have moral choices. We have moral choices. So if Greeks said, I think and therefore exist, which is good for Greeks, but the Jew says, I have a moral choice and therefore I live. And that's what God says. But what are the moral choices? Well, we have 6 constant mitzvahs. God says, feel my love, love me, have connection with me, realize that I'm here right now, choose me, I'm a source of life. So the first choice, the first moral choice, it's not even the choice between man and man. It's really the choice between man and God. And everything else steps from that. Of course, how we treat ourselves, how we treat other human beings, it's all steps to that. But the first moral choice is have a relationship with the source of life. So now we begin to understand that we can understand those things literally. The tzaddik will be written for life. That means that he will have more and more moral choices that he make, deeper and deeper relationship with God. And the wicked person can be totally into material world. He will be spending the money and he will be living his life like, there's no tomorrow, which is no tomorrow for him because he is cut off from the spirituality. He really gets cut off from the source of life. So we don't really know, what happens after Rosh Hashanah. The wicked person can win $1 million, never think about spirituality. The righteous person can even get sick and then overcome the sickness, because that will also help him to grow. So we cannot look at things primitively. So choose life, says God, and that's what I want to wish you. There's more and more things that I like to point out. There's also in Rosh Hashanah, and we're listening to the shofar. Shofar is a horn. So horn, why does animals have horn? It's defenses. So animals defend themselves with horn. We talked about the Torah is a book of archetypes, so everything happens also inside of us. We have an animal inside of us. We have many animals inside of us, but what's the animals inside of us? Those are instincts. It's survival instincts, procreation instincts, and so on and so on. So when the instincts are threatened, when we're threatened, so we also grow horns. What are those? Those anger, aggression, so on and so on, right? That's our defenses. Now, how the horn is grow? The thick part is to the skull, and the sharp part goes outside. In order to make a shofar out of that, we turn it around. That's what we need to do. We need to take those animal defenses and we need to turn around. Once we turn them around, the animals, by the way, feel very unprotected at first. But then what we do, how do we do it? We blow in order to really use the horn properly. We blow into it. Where do we see blowing air in Torah? We're seeing that Hashem blows soul and the human being become human being. So what we're doing, we're infusing those animal defenses with spirituality. We're infusing our inner animal with spirituality. We're saying to the instincts there is a bigger picture. So Torah tells us, sometimes you have to die but not do, like not killing somebody or not worshipping idols. So in order to prepare ourselves so that what you do, you prepare your even deepest instincts and you tell them there's a bigger picture. And when these animal parts of us accept Hashem, when they accept the bigger picture, they begin to feel not only safe, but they begin to feel the quality of life that really we would not experience otherwise. So I would love to wish everybody, I'm wishing everybody, choose life and have a great, great Rosh Hashanah and have a great, great year from New York. Shalom, shalom.